everybody, Rick and Donna Martinez. We are at Wake Tech for the big First Responders Appreciation and Thank You Day. And one of the folks here who is playing a big time role in making sure that first responders, law enforcement are trained and know everything they need to know in order to help those of us who are in need is Trey Rabon. Trey is the president of AT&T North Carolina. Trey, so tell us about FirstNet and the role that AT&T and FirstNet are playing in this.
So Donna, we're so excited about FirstNet. FirstNet is a public safety network that's built for first responders, that's designed by first responders. If you recall, following 9/11, September 11th, 2001, there was an acute need in our country. To have a hardened first responder network so that as first responders tried to respond in times of need, they had the ability to communicate. There was a delta there that Congress recognized, and Congress passed national legislation that formed the FirstNet Authority. AT&T was very fortunate to win the RFP, a bid to build that first responder network, which we began doing about 2 years ago, and it's a constantly evolving network that reflects feedback that we're getting from our first responders. They identify needs, yet we build the network to suit those needs so that in a time of crisis, in a time of need, they have access to the tools that the public expects them to have access to.
Now, see if I get this right, with FirstNet, you have first responders being able to talk to each other directly so that they're not getting interference from other folks. Did I get that right?
Absolutely. So there are times and jurisdictions in which a sheriff's office may not have been able to speak with the local police department. Well, on the FirstNet network, those hurdles are removed. So first responders who have subscribed to the FirstNet network have the ability to talk with one another no matter where they're at in the country.
Now, you said something about being able to evolve FirstNet, because I remember back in my airport days, you'd have a crash, you'd have an incident, and it didn't matter how much you trained, there was always something new, and then you kind of updated your procedures and so forth. Can you do this with FirstNet and update your communications capability?
Absolutely. The value of having a service provider like an AT&T build FirstNet is that as technology evolves, we can assimilate that technology into FirstNet. As we learn lessons, for example, last year following Hurricane Florence here in North Carolina, we always have a hot wash, and as we're doing a hot wash, identifying those best practices, learning lessons, we can apply those lessons to FirstNet. For example, we have deployables, which are next generation satellite trucks, on wheels that allow us to move into an area if a cell site's down or public safety communications are down. One of the lessons learned identified with Hurricane Florence is that we need to pre-position more of those closer to those areas of need, because as you may recall, following Florence, there was immense flooding. We had interstates that were flooded and were shut down, and we had to, in many instances, wrap around the coast to get to those areas of most need. And if we pre-stage more of those closer to those areas of impact, we're able to be a little more responsive. That's just one of the lessons learned. And the value to first responders is there's no cost for that equipment. To them. We pre-deploy those.
Value to
Absolutely.
First responder. Yeah.
Absolutely. We pre-stage those. We deploy those in those areas that the first responders tell us that there's a need, so that they have access to the tools at the time they need them.
Well, FirstNet and AT&T playing a critical role in what happens when the worst literally happens.